with Jamaicans of like mind in Jamaica.
We always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Connecting the Jamaican diaspora abroad and at home.
Both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story.
Yes, both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story, highlighting the positive role of the Jamaican diaspora. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
We always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Time now for Both Sides of the Story on Power 106 FM. We will not take sides, but we listen to your side. Join us as we explore the issues, present the facts, speak with the experts, and as always, listen to both sides. What's your story? Tell us on Both Sides of the Story. 922-4112, 922-4113, 922-4114, and 922-4115. You can listen to both sides of the story on the Gleaner's website, www.go-jamaica.com, on your mobile phones at tunein.com or nobex.com, or by dialing 832-551-5045 or 213-493-0133 in the USA. If you're in the UK, you can dial 020-3519-0145, and in Germany, 051-180-904044. Our email address is bothsides106@live.com, and you can join us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, or link us up on Skype. We look forward to receiving your instant messages on MSN or Yahoo, and your text messages on 365-3346. Remember, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak. So stay with us as we listen to both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story. Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
Watch your thoughts, for they become words. Watch your words, for they become actions. Watch your actions, for they become habits. Watch your habits, for they become your character. Watch your character, for it becomes your destiny.
Isn't it strange how princesses and kings, in clown-like papers in sawdust ring, just while common people like you and me will be villains for the love. Teachers give no back on truth, shapeless mass, and the each must make their lives flowing. Something black or a stepping stone. Just while falling people like you and me will be villains for love. Peaches in the battle, shapeless man, and the power, 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 I say, small people like you and me will be less for because Teachers giving the bag of tools, shapeless matters, and the when the rain is falling from the sky.
I know the sun will be only missing for a while.
I says,
Common people like will be villains for eternity. Each is given a bag of tools, shapeless mass, and the book of rules. Pow, 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 pow. Pow, 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 pow. Pow, 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 pow. We started out with an anonymous piece. Watch your thoughts, for they become words. Watch your words, for they become actions. Watch your actions, for they become habits. Watch your habits, for they become your character. Watch your character, for it becomes your destiny. And we paired that with the Book of Rules by the Heptones. Food for thought. It's the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, the Decade of Action for Road Safety, and the UN International Decade of Indigenous Languages. It's the 22nd day of the third month of 2023, the International Year of Millets. Millets are cereals grown in warm countries and regions with poor soils, bearing a large crop of small seeds, which are chiefly used to make flour. 2023 is also the International Year of Dialogue as a guarantee of peace. Here in Jamaica and in the United States, the month of March is being observed as Intellectual Disabilities Awareness Month. Also in the US, March is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month, Endometriosis Awareness Month, Salt Awareness Month, Women's History Month. In the UK, March is also Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. It's Arab League Day in Syria, Day of the People's Party in Laos, Emancipation Day in Puerto Rico. Spring celebrations continue in Kazakhstan and Azerbaijan, and North American wildlife celebrations are on in the USA. It's World Water Day. Hoy es miércoles el 22 de marzo 2023. Y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado, porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones. Y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos.
stepping stone.
C'est mercredi le 22 mars 2023 et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutez, où que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être à votre service par une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme l'un de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 2h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue. All we're saying is it's Wednesday, the 22nd of March, 2023, and we greet you well, wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices. And that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to Both Sides of the Story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome. Good afternoon to those of you listening to us on 106.1, 106.3, 106.5, 106.7, and 106.9. From Moran Point to Negril Point, from the Goat Islands to Galena Point. This is Power 106 FM, serving Jamaica and the diaspora. Hello to those tuned in via the Power 106 FM app, which you have downloaded from the App Store or the Google Play Store, depending on the nature of your device. Downloading is free, listening is free, whenever, wherever. We thank those who have dialed a designated number to listen to Power 106 FM from the United States and the United Kingdom. Those in the US who wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM can call 631-359-8281. 631-359-8281. If you're in the United Kingdom and you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, your number is 0330-606-0953, 0330-606-0953. There's more after the break.
Walk into
Power 106 studio. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling. One moment, please.
Margins Pharmacy, call 876-703-6335. The time by Margins Pharmacy is 2:15.
Become the hero on the scene by taking the COVID vaccine. Get vaccinated as soon as you get all the facts. Don't listen to the rumors. This vaccine might just make it possible for teachers to sit face to face with schoolers. This vaccine make it safer for everybody, from the young to the elderly. Don't you want to go back to living normally when things were more orderly? And if you want to live a long good life, then we all have to do what's right. So let's get vaccinated along with the heroes on the front line. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Conrad Douglas and Associates Limited and its subsidiary Environmental Science and Technology Limited, the leading environmental management consultancy firms in Jamaica for over 38 years. Join in celebrating World Water Day 2023 under the theme Accelerating Change. Let us use the Earth's resources conservatively and wisely. They operate by their slogan statements: quality service at its best and science and technology for sustainable development. Call them at 876-929-8824.
Dr. Jackie Campbell is on call this and every Wednesday evening at 8 with Powering Your Health. Powering Your Health is Power 106 FM's flagship program dedicated to health and wellness. Your one-stop place to power a healthy lifestyle. How can we help you to power your health? You can reach the show anytime by calling 876-922-41125 or by sending a text or WhatsApp message to 876-279-8598. Brought to you by Benson Pharmacy and Wellington Dental. That's powering your health. Powerful health and wellness discussion and interaction. This and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. only on Power 106 FM.
Islam daddy papers in saw this ring. Just five common people like you and me when we feel less for the DJs giving the back of blues, shapeless madness, and the each must
Here's a reminder that we're streaming live video on the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page. If you're not there yet, log on to Facebook. In the search box atop the page, type DERVAN MALCOLM, and you too will be able to not just hear, but see what's happening in the studios of Power 106 FM. If you don't have a Facebook account, there's no sweat. All you need is a smart device, like a smartphone, tablet, computer, laptop, desktop, any one of those. Then you need internet connection and, importantly, internet connectivity. One sure way to test for connectivity is by opening a browser like Google Chrome. If you're able to browse, then you're good to go. If not, then you might have some issue to deal with there. What's on your mind this afternoon? The lines are open to you. 876-922-4112 to 5. 876-922-4112 to 5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Good afternoon to Dwight Spence. He says, blessed love to all. Just checking in. Great theme song, Book of Rules. Thank you very much, Dwight Spence, and all the others enjoying the selection. Ricardo in Glengoff, St. Catherine says, good afternoon, Dervan Malcolm, and thank God for life, and shout out to all the listeners from across the world. Aston Matafa Jones is in London, England. Welcome, Aston Matafa Jones. He says, French and Spanish, you're just showing off. Far from it, Aston Matafa Jones. We're trying to excite and stimulate a greater interest in the minds and hearts of our children, especially. So if they hear someone speaking and they're not understanding what the person is saying, the hope is that that will spark or spur their curiosity, and that will cause them to want to know more. And then before you know it, they're excited about a foreign language. And their prospects become even more fruitful because they're opening additional doors of opportunity by learning at least one foreign language. That's the purpose, Aston Matafa Jones. He says, I'm about to start our show, Black Fathers Support Group show. All the best to you, Aston Matafa Jones, and your show. Audrey Smith says, afternoon, Dervan and listeners. Had a real busy day. So nice to come home and rest while listening. Take care, everyone. Thank you very much, Audrey Smith in Southampton in England. Always good to hear from you. Thanks for checking in. All the very best. Let's go to our phone lines now, 876-922-4112 to 5, 876-922-4112 to 5. Steve McDonald, like an athlete from the Manning School, first out of the blocks this afternoon. Good afternoon to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sir Dervan, and I hope that like 3 times female Western champions, I'll bring it home. I'll win the gold for this afternoon. 3 times, sir. 3 times, man, did it.
Yes, indeed.
I just want to say good afternoon again to your listeners and to also the people of Westmoreland, people of Southern Lamar in particular, and also the people of Lennox Pickens in Darlington, and also to my Manning's Manning's group. yesterday when we spoke, you had a question with regards to redemption.
With
So
regard
that was
to,
the first reason
yes.
for my calling. So yes, I do believe in redemption, but I believe that redemption should take place first before we exalt, and there should be a period of redemption before, and again, depending on how egregious the act is or incident is. For some, there may be no redemption in terms of going on the public stage and so forth, depending on what was done sometimes. And again, it has to be assessed on its own merits, in my mind, with regards to redemption and where we put how we elevate that person, because the fact of the matter is that we're dealing with impressionable minds, and things can still be seen and known, and especially if someone has not condemned their body of work, and they have preached for the majority of their body of work is on violence and glorifying guns and killing. And just because they started to probably sing to or do some peaceful tunes or educational tunes or whatever from that regards, and they have done nothing or said nothing with regards to their body of work, previous body of work, I don't believe that, okay, we just flick a switch and then that person should be exalted to this level. Take a case in point, we had the artist who was to perform at UWI, who sang about being fully dance. So again, it was ironic that the UWI people thought it appropriate. But you mentioned something when you opened that quote about your thoughts, your leading into your actions, and so forth. And I think for the most part, we as a people, we're not connecting the dots in terms of what our thoughts then become our words, and then become our actions, and then it become our habits, and they also become our character and our destiny. And we also don't see that implication from that perspective. And in terms of connecting the dots, we saw what played out in Parliament yesterday, which in my mind it's a national disgrace. But again, it's just it's just Parliament. So I remember Ed Bartlett was saying that Parliament is supposed to be an honorable place, and each member is supposed to uphold the honor of Parliament. But then those same members will leave Parliament and go on the political platform and say something even more egregious and even worse. We've heard Peter Bunting and Garnet Roper describe Nigel Clark as black royalty, right? And so basically an uppity N-word, right? So we have to be mindful of our thoughts and our words and how we exalt these people into places of position. And I mean the thought that parliamentarians should be honorable, and then once they step out of Parliament they can say anything, and then they come back into Parliament and they're dishonorable people. That makes no sense.
On the contrary, actually, when they're in Parliament, they can say anything. They have immunity.
Right.
They have immunity once they're in Parliament speaking.
That's the irony, right?
Oh boy.
So we have a far way in terms of what we're doing. I mentioned the prayer breakfast that we have every year, but yet still the same people who attend the prayer breakfast, they are heads of industries, right? And we have the Council of Churches, but I don't believe that the Council of Churches who put on the prayer breakfast have ever said to one of these companies that, listen, we really don't want you to be at the prayer breakfast this year, because last year you have been sponsoring people on your shows who have been glorifying violence and killing. We haven't taken that stance. We talk about, we have these shows and we speak words, but our actions belie our words. We have not taken, the council of churches have not been out and say, listen, we don't want to be associated with people from this company. The government have not said this this company, we're no longer going to do business with you. And I can say, let's say telephone, telephone or video companies, because they're always sponsoring these artists. We no longer want to do business with you because you are sponsoring shows that have people on there who glorify these music. And until we really reach to that level, and it is possible, because in the 90s, this probably was a little bit before your time there, but in the 90s, when we used to attend shows, you were probably still a baby at that time, when we used to attend stage shows, if the artist wanted to get a forward, as they call it, they would glorify some bashing of gays or something. And the gay community responded, and they said we're going to ban, and they got up and they were demonstrated at all the different shows. And no, that is not a common trait. So we have seen where action does work. We have seen where we can change habits. So it is not something that is ill-conceived or something we're pulling out of space, a warped idea. It can be done, but we just don't have the moral courage to do it. And the PM cannot continue to speak about moral values and want these higher moral values, when at the same time his minister is attending these shows and his government agencies are also sponsoring these shows. So how can you talk about high murder rate and you're going to put in SOE when your government agency is also sponsoring a show with killing? Anyway, again, thank you very much, Sir D, for your time. So yes, there is redemption, but you really have to, the proof of the pudding is in the eating, as we would say. So that's my thought.
Well, thank you very much for sharing your position with us this afternoon on both sides of the story. All the best.
All the best. Thank you.
Take care. Steve McDonald in Toronto, Canada, connecting with us here on both sides of the story. There's more after the break. Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. Annette Morgan says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Happy spring. Keep safe. Happy spring to you too, and you do likewise. Thank you very much for joining us here on Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Let's clear some more of our messages. This one says, Canada farm workers, they made it bad for themselves by not taking a stand from day one. Now farm abuse so normalized. Nobody thinks working in poor condition is a problem after all. It's the hours needed for pay. Just like Jamaica's politicians refusing to enforce laws from day one, now years later, lawlessness is normalized. Thank you for sharing your thoughts on WhatsApp, 876-365-3346. That's the same as the text number or the text line, 876-365-3346. We have a voice note we haven't been able to listen to off air. And so we'll have to, hopefully we get an opportunity to listen to that voice note so that we can make a determination as to what to do with it. Hello to Mrs. Eileen Budai from St. Thomas. Good to see you online, Mrs. Budai. She says, hello, Dervan. I'm seeking your assistance in finding out from Water Commission why there's no water in my community, Blue Maho Prospect, St. Thomas. We're unable to reach the local office in Morant Bay. And when you try Kingston, it's like pulling a tooth. Seldom get through to them. There are elderly people in the community who do not have the facility of spring water for so long. The water has been off from Friday afternoon until now. It's a crying shame. Please see if it's possible to find out what's the problem and when it will be resolved. Thank you so much, Dervan. Take care. Blessings, peace, and love. I think the last time I sent a message to Andrew Cannon, I got the impression that either he's no longer the point man or he's on some kind of a break or leave, or there is definitely somebody else who is in that position. We're going to try to find out if we can during perhaps the next break, but we haven't been able to have a matter resolved with Andrew Cannon's assistance in a little while. So we need to check on that. This one says, teacher, it's a beautiful day. Jamaica is said to be a Christian country. I have heard some religious leaders saying God didn't give a warning about COVID-19. Something is missing here. Something another. Didn't hear it. Now that they are hearing this part, do something about it. COVID-19 has something another, slink, whatever that is, with the cross, the pilgrims, and peace for the world. Some Jamaicans are good at figuring out dreams. Figure this one out. One love. Good luck to you, Geneva. Thank you for your message. Crocs in Black River says, greetings. While the roads are deteriorating, the garbage is piling up all across Jamaica, and the hospitals are run down and ill-equipped. Dr. Nigel Clark spends most of his time at the river staring into the water and combing his auburn hair by the light of the moon. It's a pity that academic qualification does not equate to mental maturity. Crocs in Black River. This one says, Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. What is happening up by the Ministry of Labor at East Street, where the Canadian farm workers are doing their medical, doctors and nurses? And what I would suggest the person who has sent us this message for the second time, that you bring the matter take the matter to somebody in a supervisory position or a management position at the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. That's what we would suggest. But we're not into the business of going with what you are intimating with respect to uh, to sullying people's character. We can't do that kind of thing. If you have that kind of information, that kind of evidence, and if you are confident enough, you would go to a member of the supervisory team or management and bring that to their attention. Thank you very much. We don't have to step on other people in order to get to where we need to get to. It really shouldn't be. Speak your truth and speak it clearly, says Desiderata. But if you have to be stepping on somebody else and lambasting someone else in order to make your point, then I don't know. We have to be careful. Be careful that we don't become the people we condemn. Let's be careful and be mindful of that. And Spider says, Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Most people say hearsay can't go to court, but how ironic that isn't everything in the Bible hearsay? If that's your opinion, Spider, well, say it is. But I am in no position to speak definitively on those matters. So over to you, Spider. And let's go. Let's go. This is information. Rohan Johnson from Atlas Ocho Rios says, I'm encouraging all road users to make safety their number one priority while driving on the nation's roads. Coming from Rohan Johnson, Atlas Ocho Rios, clocking in. Good to have you on board. Well, here's someone we haven't heard from in a while. Miss June in Norway. Greetings to you, June in Norway. How are you?
How are you doing?
I am fine, thanks. And you?
I'm good also.
Wonderful. What's on your mind this afternoon?
Not much. I just want to tell you I love you, and I hear a lot of people say a lot of things. I cannot comment on everything, but I just want to know that I'm listening.
We appreciate your listenership and your unswerving support of this program. We really appreciate you.
I don't call.
Yes.
But I'm listening.
Happy to know that.
And I love you and I respect you.
I reciprocate wholeheartedly.
I love you.
Lots of love to you too.
We'll leave it there.
All right. Thank you very much for the call. Please call again. Take care. That's June in Oslo, Norway, and we thank her for her continued listenership and support, and for her to be, well, it's still relatively early, evening hours in Oslo, Norway. It's 8:42 p.m. in Oslo, Norway, and Ms. June is up listening to us. Thank you very much, June in Norway. All the best to you and your family. Let's go to the phone lines once again, 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Hello.
Miss Mervis, welcome.
I didn't hear there's a little thing that tell me I am on, But I didn't hear that, so I didn't realize I was on.
Consider it a surprise.
Yes, thanks. You're both side. You know what I love about your program?
What's that?
It's one of those programs that avoid being biased.
We try.
Yes. Some of them getting really a sick my stomach these days. Because me at 76 mil, I always tell them. Coming from down the road, I don't have to read something. I live through it.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Yes.
And the two side of people and the two of them get around with them rubbish, and sometimes some people just behave as if it's a one-sided thing.
Mm-hmm.
And all that stomach can get sick with it now too. You know what the song came to me? When I heard this nonsense take up the whole of the time, the whole of the time at the parliament, it will hurt me, Because I sit down and listen, when me listen to them things, I sit down and listen to everything.
Mm-hmm.
And when me hear this nonsense, will take up how much time, One song come to me where you hear that song, Master God, God.
Mm-hmm.
Master God, God. And one of the time them there, them political meeting, I sing it to one of them get in the spirit and them a throw water upon them, That same song, yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes. So you see, that's why I have to sit down and watch and look at everything. Sometimes I don't want to listen, God tell me something to listen for his sake.
Mm-hmm.
I need to know. And then the next thing will come to me, you see?
Yes.
If you live in a glass house, Mr. Don't throw stones. And if you can't take blow, brother, don't throw blows.
Yes.
Yeah? Don't
Yeah.
have English, you call that English book? If you live in a glass house, don't throw stones.
Yeah, there's a line in that song that I like as well. It says, harm no man, let no man harm you.
I not even know the whole light,
Yes.
Honestly, some years ago when I was...
Well, hold a moment, please, Miss Mervis.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:45.
Welcome to the new dimension in eye care, the Optical Zone, offering exceptionally comfortable eyewear. We fill prescriptions and do eye examinations. This complete optical store is conveniently located at Shop 14, York Plaza, Halfway Tree. Telephone 929-8656. The Optical Zone, providing vision for life.
Conrad Douglas and Associates Limited and its subsidiary Environmental Science and Technology Limited, the leading environmental management consultancy firms in Jamaica for over 38 years, join in celebrating World Water Day 2023 under the theme Accelerating Change. Let us use the Earth's resources conservatively and wisely. They operate by their slogan statements, quality service at its best and science and technology for sustainable development. Call them at 876-929-8824.
Your health is key to your wealth. Suffering from muscle, joint, neck, back, and other pain? The Rehabilitation Institute of the Caribbean, in association with Winchester MRI, Immune Active Denk, and Almighty Studios present Rehabilitation Now, a 30-minute feature on physical medicine and rehabilitation for persons overcoming pain or dysfunction from injury or disease that affects muscles, tendons, nerves, and joints. Rehabilitation Now with rehabilitation physician Dr. Paula Dawson and host Alicia Taylor airs every Friday at 3:30 p.m. during Both Sides of the Story with Dervan Malcolm on Power 106. Free your body from aches and pain with Rehabilitation Now, right here on Power 106 FM.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm. Back to Miss Mervis online.
Yes, man. And I say, is like over there we are just slipping something in my mind when something's happening, Because when Sarah got that died, you see,
You know what hurt me? I have a lot of newspaper documentary or whatever, I remember what we call them, about the life of Siaga, you know. And when I look on him, I say, my God Almighty, then the man lifetime, all you could have heard blood for blood and fire for fire. And him do all of this thing? Eh? No. The people must do better than that. We must do better than that, man. The amount of something when we see them having the paper, must be 2 pieces of documentary in the cleaner, you know. All you could have heard blood for blood and fire for fire. The next thing, them slogan, Black Man Time. Yeah? Black Man Time. You for me lead a band, yeah. And me expect the new turf, you know, Dervan. Me expect the young turf will be better, you know. Do something better, you know. I am surprised at them. You see it? We don't have time for them foolishness there. The dollar. What the minister should not tell them, say, all them do collect the taxes where the other party put on, you know. All them 150% per land tax, when carry land tax on 20,000 to 50,000 one time. I will put tax all per phone, 25% for me to talk to you. And $3 per every minute we run. And a long time down the road, I said the taxes is not. The other set of people who are load, but you know, Dervan. We collect some money, more money than we some educated people collect, you know. Our boss, them a load and tax, you know.
It's called extortion.
No, not that.
It is extortion.
The one where them load the vehicle and the
It is extortion.
Well, I didn't see it that way.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I am saying there's a lot of people out there, some skilled people.
You have some little people who come around and trying to scare people, but with respect to where them come from and oh, you know me, you know who me is, and where me come from, and
yeah, man,
try to say I saw the thing set and you have to let off.
Yeah,
you can't, otherwise you can't park, etc. It's extortion.
Yes, in another sense. And the only rubbish going on out there, the whole nation want to clean up. May I already talk about the Asian slavery, something in English language there. What if slavery must never clean for 100 years? This place they want that social, moral, and spiritual clean up in order to get a good economic movement, you know. Eh? Some of them out there, plumbers, carpenters, tradesmen, earning a lot of money, paying no tax. And the people them like teachers, nurses, certain kind of people, when them catch your money before you catch it, and them get sucked all these years down the road, you know. Eh? So that is why when the government say I give them 1.5% whatever reprieve, you know what, not them people kick up those, say, what these people really want? I didn't care where them get the money if I was still in the profession. Because I hear them are suck with life. And some people getting away with it. I hear never talk about it all the while. And it's a fact. Some of them are earning a heap of money and out there not paying no tax at all. While some of them who would pay a heap of money to get educated, borrow money, Dervan, go to university. You know them way there?
Yes.
And all them things that God bless me, them get earning more than what some of us earning. And not paying them tax. So our government need to do is to make them find the people that want to pay the tax. Now we tax somebody else. And make them pay them tax. It's not fair. Everybody want to go to road and hospital, this and that and that. And our doctors and our nurses of quality need to stay here. I don't business with them and this, what them call the foreign exchange something they want them bring in here.
Mm-hmm.
That's all them sit down looking, the politicians them sit down depending on. For them go abroad, go send back remittance money. Eh? While we out here can't find, I like me now a whole man want me quality doctor and quality nurse look after me, you can't find them. Then they have another country. And when we consider when we put in education, you know. But whole heap some of we whole teachers put in, you know, Dervan. So then give up very little, you know, the foreigners say they wonder how we achieve so much with so little.
Mm-hmm.
That them say, you know, Dervan. When they come out here and see what we achieve with so little. So all them come show off themselves about foreign this and foreign that. This is a class country. Why can't we see it? Why them grabbing at our people? Eh? How come your country big so? And nobody now run down the job them over there because the dollar now have no value. Dervan have your program we talked this one in 2010. When God said they must stop buy and sell the dollar, stop it. Because the dollar, no care what money government give you, the dollar has no value. It can't do nothing. them doing giving away and doing all them something, all they need to do, make sure we get this dollar revalued. We don't name America. Why everything is quoted in American dollar in a state of United States? Eh? And nobody not paying us in a US dollar. The Almighty said yesterday millennium, yeah? And 2000 him said this. There's going to be a dispensational change, yeah? Did you know that from down in early February, I see some bird? The whole climate and just the rain thing a change, you know? I see some bird where you used to see in the springtime, you know, Dervan. Whole heap of them around here, you know? Where you suppose me used to see in March, April? Them around here from in early February. I mean, I realize that just the rainfall a change. It's a whole heap of change is taking place in the total world. Mankind can't see that. Instead, them can't read the weather, but them can't read the signs. The Bible said that. We need to understand who run this universe. We could have planted tree till we're dead. Yes, good for that. But you see, when God locked the heaven, not a tree can draw down up there. And him still run things. And when man down here give him too much trouble and behave like the earth of them and the fullness thereof, he's going to do something to show with that. We come in here, baby, we not even know when we're born, you know. We know we're born, you know. And we come in here and we get programmed into what is in here. And then we start to get on all this technology thing, we radio them, I get paid. You know, sometimes we can't find another door. But go all over the place, every one of them are fried like me. I don't know if a dumpling or a fried plantain or a fat. But all you're getting a frying in a them. And you have to twist the antenna, so. All kind of something I go out with them technology, you know. But you know, last thing I gotta say. Remember in Mr. Perkins' days, one day when Mr. Patterson said all schools shall have computers. Long time. And he want to take me on from that when me call him, so me said to him, say, me not take on the argument, you know, because me a teach a reading program. And over there tell me if it teach the youth, them say them brain is more powerful than any computer. Because of the brain produce the computer, yeah? And the next thing with the life we tell us, all the way say go along from there. Google simple take people work. But one of the people that realize that because soup get sitting from Google, you know. Google take people work and load it onto them internet like how you load a library, you know? Eh?
Yeah, well, there is
a... Them do not work. They just put them on.
There is a money-making component to it for those.
The people that work them put onto it, get anything?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
Lots of money too.
Okay. But glad to hear that. Because them not realize. Them sit down and them make this computer dull up them brain and make them can't even think. Everything you go up on the computer and it dull up your brain. And make you can't even think for yourself. However man in Dervan to find the right kind of people for it. Well, when Mr. Want something on TV last night like we do not need no teacher. What I think I got in a God world. You got robot teacher and all them stuff there. But I remember a young man who come a reading program from one of the secondary school. I said, "Welcome to the reading program up there." You this young man to me now. What miss? The computer can't talk to me like how you talk to me. They may not talk now. But I know, you know, me I watch it out. Everybody I run down this technology and I realize where I go on, you know, Dervan. Eh?
I don't know about them running it down. There are some giants in the tech market who are pursuing certain ends.
I know.
And I don't see a long line of people.
I've been watching it from its start, you know.
I don't see a long line of people rushing to get the technology.
Them are rushing in a different way, not the same place. You know, because when them come up with all them wallet and things, me say, but the gunman try to hold you up and tell you to go draw the money, get them. Eh? All of them, you know, the devil out there. And everything you put them good, you know, you find some idiot. No idiot. You find some people who can try and draw around the place like a dead chicken from a piece of string. And use them to mess up everything we're good, you know, Dervan. That are going for what are going, you know. That is what is going on. Our human beings are allowing themselves to destroy us. And we are not bucking master, you know. Let's come, we talk about history, we can talk history and talk about ourselves. Because the bucking master white man, them are something, but look what we're doing to ourselves, Dervan. Eh? Maybe we need to put more focus there, sir. And stop talking about what the government will do, what the police will do. Some fast and pray until God change them and take them off of the globe. Yes, who bring them in here? Because some people sit down and make sure them bring up them children right and you suffer from all of this. Huh? Them man and ladies will get them. We need to stop ball to the government alone and the police. The police, some of them may help train them too as students. And then go down and just shoot them and kill them and go along with all kind of foolishness. Eh? What if we live in a jungle? No, man. We need, as a people, we need to get up and speak to our fellow Jamaicans and tell them, no, we can't live like this. We can't pay your light bill. And we can't do everything like this and waste some heap of money from police force that we're supposed to fix the road. Eh? Okay, we sit down and live with this very beautiful piece of God, Dervan. Where everybody's come capture.
Well, at least it's not going unnoticed by commentators, public commentators like you.
Something.
What do you suggest?
Well, some of it talk plenty, but you know, some of them need to get 10 of them boy picking there. You know what I mean? Huh?
That's a solution?
No, not all of it, because I used to run a reading program and you're afraid to know what this program do to them. You're afraid to know what happened to them who couldn't read at all and know ABC. You know this program with me, I get them from 93 and sit down and same way.
Well, next time you come to us, Miss Mervis, just share your list with us.
You have to go to the Ministry of Education, we will not. The JTA that will not over the years. It can't just go for a radio station. You need to go through the school system.
Well, I'm happy that you're seized with the approach that is necessary. We encourage you to go ahead and pursue it, Miss Mervis.
Well, I know we're going to do them, because that generation that is lost, Dervan.
Well, as long as we're breathing, there is hope. We have to go to the break, Miss Mervis.
But some people can't pay. Some people go and pay the Almighty say so.
We're
all the time, and when him ready.
Speaking of time, we're happy to have been able to afford you that much time to express yourself. Miss Mervis, thanks a lot. All the best. Take care.
Contractors, developers, and small builders. Contact Coast to Coast Group of Companies for high-quality concrete products. The time by Coast to Coast Group of Companies is
3 o'clock. Environmental Solutions Limited celebrates World Water Day and joins the global initiative to raise awareness and accelerate change on water and sanitation issues. Water is vital for the economy, environment, and overall well-being. Environmental Solutions encourages all Jamaicans to join the initiative to be the change, be stewards of water, and accelerate the change to solve the water and sanitation crisis. Happy World Water Day from Environmental Solutions Limited.
On your marks. Set.
The Issa Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletics Championships takes place from Tuesday, March 28 to Saturday, April 1 at the National Stadium. And Power 106 FM brings you all the action. Tune into both sides of the story. Tuesday, March 28 to Friday, March 31 for updates. Roundup during Power Play. Tuesday, March 28 to Friday, March 31. And live simulcast on Saturday, April 1. Coverage of the Issa Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletics Championships is brought to you by Imperial Optical Jamaica, Coast to Coast Group of Companies, Moscoville Hardware, Marja Black Quarry and Block Factory, Community Meds Pharmacy, Fire Equipment Sales and Services Limited, Massive Used Parts Super Value Auto Care Center Limited, VW Investments, and CIWI Electrical Sales Limited.
Conrad Douglas and Associates Limited and its subsidiary Environmental Science and Technology Limited, the leading environmental management consultancy firms in Jamaica for over 38 years. Join in celebrating World Water Day 2023 under the theme, Accelerating Change. Let us use the Earth's resources conservatively and wisely. They operate by their slogan statements, quality service at its best, and science and technology for sustainable development. Call them at 876-929-8824. NIS pensioners and contributors. The Ministry of Labor and Social Security's newly refurbished Customer Service Center at 14 National Hero Circle is now open to serve you better. They offer a range of services, including collection of applications, life certificates and change of address forms, preparation of contribution statements, and much more. Visit from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday to Thursday, or 8:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. on Fridays. The NIS always working for you. A message from the Ministry of Labor and Social Security.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Good afternoon to Joan Edgehill in Central Florida. She says, blessings to you, Mr. Dervan, and to your listeners all over the world. To you too, Joan Edgehill. Natalie Winter says, poor working conditions is not only in the farm workers program, but you check some of these offices who love to skin them teeth to the public behind the scenes. You have no water, poor sanitary convenience, no light, and poor generator operators. You think all the money they give to various charity and individuals, they would treat their hardworking staff better. Get the picture, Dervan. People need justice, or they will take the justice in their own hands. Well, the power has always been in the hands of the people. It's just that at different times in our history and the history of the world, people have either been shy, reluctant, fearful, or brash, intentional, determined, etc. And there's a quotation I heard on BBC a couple weeks ago, was it? I had to record a voice note. It says, I did record it. Let's see. The only way to prove that you have power is to use it. The only way to prove that you have power is to use it. The only way to prove that you have power is to use it. Too many of us are sitting on our hands. The only way to prove that you have power is to use it. Thank you, Natalie, for your message. Rosie Thomas says, hi, Mr. Dervan. Afternoon to you and the staff of Power 106. Good afternoon, Rosie Thomas. Oliver Masters says, if my calls could be so short and respective and not being long, repetitive, and boring, as is usually my norm, do be safe and corrective where it's due, says Oliver Masters. Carla Brown is messaging us as well. She says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. I'm here listening to you on radio. Miss Mervis is now on. Can she leave her number? I once had it, but that phone had accidentally dropped in water, and that was the end of it. So that's how I lost her number. So I'd really appreciate if she could give it again. Miss Mervis, hope you're still listening. There's a listener here, Carla, who would like to reconnect with you. She lost your number. Please call us back so we can get your number to Carla, please. She says, all the best to you and all family members who are tuned in. Have a wonderful day. And Aston Matafa Jones says, see you again soon. Let's go to the phone lines, 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Are you there?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We are identifying the problems, but we are not giving a solution to the problem. That is what we are doing, and the politicians are making it worse for us. Because when they start quarreling in the house, what does that tell us? That our leaders cannot meet to help the people. One thing I'm going to make a suggestion, and could you talk to the Minister of Sports, Youth and Sports? Can they bring back in some of the industrial training centers to feed the art program?
I'm listening.
All right, because once that feeder program was in, what happened is that kids who could not meet the academical qualification, they were sent to these industrial training centers to start to learn a skill. Then they were transferred to the art academies to advance their skill. But after they bring in the art program, what they do, they dissolve all the industrial training centers that give a starter program to these youths. That's why we have so much crime inside in this country right now.
Well, one thing following another. is not necessarily an indication that one caused the other. To make that direct correlation between the two would require the kind of evidence that would cause us not to question such a conclusion.
Yes, but if idle hands do idle things, don't.
Without a doubt.
Right. So
without a doubt, but it still doesn't follow that one led to the other.
But when the kids leave, like say grade 11, and they are not academically qualified, right? They are sent to the art program. They even are accepted in the art program. They have to pay to go to the art program.
Apparently not anymore. That's the latest announcement. Not anymore. They don't have to pay again.
So can the government just start to reintroduce some of these industrial training centers where the youth can go and start just the basic training, then they can go to these art programs to advance their skill?
Well, that's what they need to start doing now. Do the PR and marketing and get the youngsters involved and recognizing that they no longer have to pay and therefore they have no excuse. Although some might argue they still need to find bus fare and lunch money.
But there was stipend given to them back in the days.
That I'm thinking that they will still have it.
Because I was one of the first 250 persons who started the art program.
Yeah, you are one of the pioneers.
I'm on, yes.
Yes.
So if they do that, it will be very, very good for these youngsters, some of these youngsters who want to learn a skill, because right now we are short of young skill workers in Jamaica.
Yes, and we also, I keep coming back whenever this issue and related matters are raised.
Yes.
We also need to be clear on what our standards are in terms of our remuneration standards. How much money should people charge to change? I don't know, to change out a ball and what do they call it, ball and joint, etc. And so that it is no longer in the realm of you just give man a money or, just hold this man, that kind of thing. We have to be more professional in terms of how we deal with our tradesmen and women.
I'm 100% in agreement with you.
Yes.
We do not have the assessment of these skilled workers and what they are worth. I can tell you that.
That's right.
So we need to, but I would like the Minister of Youth and Sport and Community, I don't know if you have community development again. Back in my days, I used to have that.
Mm-hmm.
If they could just start to implement some of these programs, even get a few of these industrial training centers.
Well, that is it. Having made the announcement in Parliament in the budget debate, the Prime Minister by now should have given instructions to whichever division of his portfolio to get the ball rolling.
Yes.
Strike while the iron is hot.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
agreed. And continue with your program. You're doing a very good job.
Thank you.
And I appreciate that.
And we appreciate you. Thanks for the call. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, my radio professor.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I'd like to implore all the persons who are listening to this program now to go on your cell phone, look up the Dervan Malcolm Show on Power 106, and subscribe to the show and strike the like button to contribute to this show, this program, because we're going to need this program more than ever going forward into 2030, 2040, and 2050.
Oh, dear.
Because that is when the real struggle going to come on the people. Mr. Malcolm.
Sir.
Yesterday after the budget debate, there was a forum. And I called into that forum.
Where was that? Tell us. I didn't know. Where was that forum?
Yeah, there was a forum on another radio station.
You can call the name, please. Please.
Yeah, Nationwide News Network.
Uh-huh.
And they have all these accountants and all these economists on the program.
Mm-hmm.
And I took up my phone with my time and put a suggestion on the show. And I said to one of the person on the program, said, You know, you hear the budget debate and you don't hear anybody talking about the old people's needs of the country in terms of generating more NIS contribution, get more money to buy their medicine and live out their good life in their old age, having contributed so much. And you don't hear the union talking about increase for the NIS pensioners. Why? Hear what the moderator said to me. That is impractical for the government to do. So I said to him, say, you mean it is impractical? Look at the Klansman gang, how much billions and millions they pay to lawyers to try them. And you hear how much millions they make out of Spanish Town Market from the taxi men, etc. in that minor part of the country. Millions and billions of dollars. And none of these gangsters who have been convicted file any tax return. Could the NIS and the NHE go over by Spanish Town in the market district and set up tents to sensitize these market vendors that they need to pay their NIS before they pay the extortion? Him say it's not practical.
Well, I don't know if what he means is because we have been doing wrong for so long that we have become averse to what you're suggesting. In other words, there's this thing about Wagan Badaman and can't come good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Malcolm. And you know the tax collector of this country, when it comes to poor people interest, they're afraid.
Yes, because that has political implications.
Thank you, sir. And you know what one of the economists on the program said to me? That I must remember that one of the main tax drivers for the government during the financial year was GCT. So I said to him that most of these money that the government collecting from GCT is because of the inflation rate that has gone up on the people. And isn't that a tax? And he said, yes, it is a tax. So I said, how the government boasting that there is no new tax and it benefiting from the inflation increase? In the answer me all now.
Hold a moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:15. The College of Agriculture, Science and Education, CASE, continues to play its part in revolutionizing Jamaica's productive and education sectors for the demands of the 21st century. Learn more about CASE's philosophy, programs, and services in a special feature during Farm Talk with Alfie McKenzie every second Monday at 6:18 a.m. during Farm Talk with Alfie McKenzie, right here on Power 106 FM.
Something black or a stepping stone. Just fight for people like you and me.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Thanks for holding.
Yes, Mr. Malcolm. So I want the people them to know this, you see? That there's no new money printing and everybody competing for the same scarce fiat money. And at the end of the day, if the government don't do something about all of these taxi men, transport operators, market vendors, all over the place who are not filing their SO1 when the year done, to bring up the NIS and the NHT so that more people can benefit, especially when they retire. Black people doom in this side of the world come 2040. Because when you listen to all the Minister of Finance, say him, classes and races,
No, those are very strong terms now. Why would you say that?
You hear him utterance in the parliament yesterday. One side I call the next side fool, one side I say shut up, and one I call one master, this and master. What type of connotation you get from that?
But maybe they don't necessarily see themselves as such. They just see it as a one big joke.
Joke?
Yes, joke.
Listen,
Didn't you hear all the laughing and this and the banging on the desk and on both sides?
Mr. Malcolm, I'm going to tell you this. You know that a parliamentarian pension is secure till them dead after they do 2 terms in office.
Mm-hmm.
You know that?
Yeah.
And you know that a councillor, his pension is secure for life when he do 8 years as a councillor. And all those here laughing at the backbench there, you know that their pension is approximately $300,000 a month till them dead.
Yeah, huh? They're all taken care of.
Oh, okay. And the average man like me and you and Miss Mervis, and we have to work till we are 70 before we get one stipend. So them have all right to make joke and laugh. This is no joke. Because while they were running joke, America and Russia was playing war games over the Pacific. You know that?
Mm-hmm.
America was sending 2 warplanes to spy into Russia, and Russia sent up 2 fighter jets to intercept them.
World is upside down, man.
And 5% of the Israeli population is now demonstrating on the street of Israel because of pension and money problem and land problem.
No, that's a shocker for me because I'd never before seen or heard that kind of demonstration.
Thank you. And in France burning right now as we speak because of pension crisis.
Not for the first time, because the first time was some years ago when they broached the subject of raising the retirement age. And so I'm surprised they're still at this point after all these years.
Mr. Welcome, I want to leave you with this joke in Portmore here.
Mm-hmm.
One of the richest places in Portmore that those houses value like between 60 to 100 million.
In Portmore?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's a place named Caribbean Estate. One of the most secure strata complex in Jamaica, in Portmore.
Mm-hmm.
They have maximum 24-hour security, run by a former policeman named Renita Adams.
Oh, that's his firm. Okay.
Yeah, they run those security. And when I went over there Sunday, in a section near Martinique, and I look at the gate, Mr. Malcolm, they have a list of people on the gate who what they call maintenance money.
And therefore they have to open the gate themselves. Is that it?
No, well, the name is on the gate, so they own 96,000.
Oh.
This one 87,000, then what they call it, name and shame.
Mm.
If you don't pay your maintenance, your name will be going on the gate to shame you. And if you don't pay within a certain time, they take you in front of the court downtown, the Sutton Street Court, and they can sell your house to recover the maintenance.
Yes, that's under the Strata Act. Yes.
Right. So I'm going to contrast this for you. And you know that in there, the tax authority, the tax office, turn around people with microphone to tell the people, go pay your property tax by April so and so. Pay your property tax. And when you look at like a place like Arnett Gardens and Tivoli Garden, no taxman can send no speaker down there to tell them to pay no property tax.
Yeah, they might have to beat a hasty retreat.
Come again, my professor.
They might have to beat a hasty retreat.
Tell the people why.
I think though. I think everybody knows.
You think so?
I think so.
Because you know what the system is doing. We have developed such a parasitic economy that suits the politicians, that they just feed off of who they can feed off of. And when I went to my client in there to ask, how they have the people in name and them gate and they buy such big house. He said that doesn't really matter. They have to pay to clean the street in here and pay for the security.
That's right.
And then when you look at the rest of Portmore, that people paying their property tax, because Portmore is one of the best property tax paying community in Jamaica.
That's true.
Portmore dirty and stink. I wonder what Portmore municipality doing with all of this property tax.
It sounds like the people need a meeting with the mayor.
Meeting with these politicians, mayor. Mr. Malcolm, when you're sure to win over here, you're sure to do nothing.
Mm-mm.
Because look here, the man tell me how much light them JPS come dig out the people and meet in Caribbean estate. And I say, what? People over here can't pay a light bill? He say, yes. Tell them to go down at Tivoli Garden and Honest Garden, but they got nobody light meter. I hear a politician tell them, so. So there's a class of people in the country, so the country design, that as Miss Murphy said, once them catch your payroll before you get it, them rinse it. And when you come and try and live like a little decent life, you try and live, pay your taxes and pay your light bill, and you have another set of Jamaican that the political system protects. Just feed off of you like a parasite.
Yeah, there's a production I was involved in, a play. Was it Hamlet? One of those productions. And there was a play within the play. So what you have are countries within this country.
Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
And two things I want to say to the people before I leave. You notice that the needs never come up in the budget?
Not at all.
None of them talk about the needs.
Didn't hear a word of it.
And you know that they have a 20, you see all these ATM machines that everybody are thief out now, and the beryllium truck that them are robbed. You know that by 2030 though, everybody going to have to pay all them bills online. I'm appealing to all those women and men out there who can't use the computer, who don't know to pay a telephone bill or a light bill or a cable bill online, don't know the apps. And before you turn on your TV, boy, you watch soap opera daytime. Learn how to pay your bills through your bank account online. Because the politician is not here to educate you and nothing, you know. The politicians are here to exploit you. Have a good day, Mr. Malcolm, and keep as a people, subscribe to the Dervan Malcolm show, because we want him to have at least 100,000 subscribers by now in December, so that this program of the war chest to keep the people educated in Jamaica, because politicians are not here to educate you. They are here to divide you and rule you and control you, and then them flush you when them do have no use to you when you reach 70 or 80 or 90.
Well,
take care of your program, Mr. Malcolm.
As bad as things are, we also should remind the people that they have the power in their hands. And we go a step further. As we said, that quotation we heard on the BBC, the only way to prove that you have power is to use it. Thanks for the call. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Dervan.
Good afternoon.
I hear a lot of discussion and queries and misunderstanding about tax and new tax. I want to make a suggestion, because when the authorities or those who are commenting on it could use the word no new items, emphasize items, no new items of tax. And added to that, no new rates of tax. And I think most of us will understand it better. Appreciate it.
I'm curious as to what would have precipitated this this need to reset the vocabulary when it comes to the use of the word taxes. Because
because they're talking about the authorities will talk about no new tax, and everybody is confused about it and trying to make out that there is and there isn't.
But this is what I'm trying to figure out. Why would people now be confused when this is a term that has been used all over the world when it comes on to national budgets?
Yeah, but talking about Jamaica now, right? You know how we use the English language. So we need to say no new items. That means we haven't added any new items. And two, you haven't moved any rates. Those that are established already, they have not moved the rates of tax. Because we've been used to over many years that every budget used to have increase in taxes, both items and rates.
Well, over to those with the authority to make such
Yeah, when
changes.
even also ourselves, when people are, when there is presenters are trying to discuss it and make people understand when they're querying it, they're not getting it clear.
Well, somebody just sent us a message that popped up. Somebody called Sir T. No new taxes. That's what he just wrote.
Yeah, this is what.
So I'm just saying, so much so for changing the dictum or the
Well, you don't think it has any clarity to it?
No, well, I have not in any considered way looked at the wording and tried to match it with the outcome or the calculations or etc because well, I don't even know why. I perhaps I'm just too
You're
busy
talking
for my
about what
own
I'm
good.
just suggesting.
I'm saying I haven't been able to examine uh, whatever is lacking or not.
Well, to me, it's to my mind, it's reasonably simple. You're talking about new items. So you have a list of things in it. And people can scroll down and see which ones you're paying or which ones you need to pay. And then you have those that are established already. And up until the recent past, when you have a budget, they normally change the rate at which you pay.
Yeah. Well, if I'm able to find the time, I will try and ruminate on that. But I have to go.
I'm not asking you to do anything.
I have to go.
The listeners are out there.
Yeah. Well, they have heard you. They have heard you, and we're also seeing a couple of messages popping up of those who are sticking with the old system, if there is such a thing. Well, thank you very much for the call. We have to go. We have a scheduled interview coming up right after this break.
Help us protect Jamaica's borders. Tell us about any illegal guns coming through customs controlled areas. Call Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is 3:30.
Conrad Douglas and Associates Limited and its subsidiary Environmental Science and Technology Limited, the leading environmental management consultancy firms in Jamaica for over 38 years. Join in celebrating World Water Day 2023 under the theme Accelerating Change. Let us use the Earth's resources conservatively and wisely. They operate by their slogan statements: quality service at its best and science and technology for sustainable development. Call them at 876-929-8824.
On your marks. Set.
The Issa Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletics Championships takes place from Tuesday, March 28 to Saturday, April 1 at the National Stadium, and Power 106 FM brings you all the action. Tune into both sides of the story. Tuesday, March 28 to Friday, March 31 for updates. Roundup during Power Play, Tuesday, March 28 to Friday, March 31, and live simulcast on Saturday, April 1. Coverage of the Issa Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletics Championships is brought to you by Imperial Optical Jamaica, Coast to Coast Group of Companies, Boscobel Hardware, Marja Black Quarry and Block Factory, Community Meds Pharmacy, Fire Equipment Sales and Services Limited, Massive Used Parts Super Value Auto Care Center Limited, VW Investments, and CIWI Electrical Sales Limited.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Cleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. We'll get back to more of your calls in a bit, but first we have a scheduled interview with the Acting Assistant Director of the Department of Student Services at the University of the Commonwealth Caribbean, UCC, Mr. Gary Mackenzie. And he's going to be telling us more about UCC Inauguration Week, which is being observed this week. Mr. Mackenzie, good afternoon. How are you?
Malcolm, I am doing well, and I'm excited about our inauguration week. We are celebrating the university, and we're also celebrating the inauguration of our third president, Dr. Aldane Davies. The theme of our week-long celebration is igniting, discovering, impacting our world.
Mm-hmm. And how have you set out to achieve your objectives in this UCC inauguration week? Give us a sense of the architecture of the week.
Right. So the week started with a forum, a higher education leaders forum on Monday afternoon. And we really got together the leaders from across the tertiary institutions in Jamaica, University of Technology, Shortwood Teachers College, University of the West Indies, Northern Caribbean University, and of course, faculty from UCC. We got together and we had a discussion to look at what impact education should have on our society. And having uncovered the impact that we should have on our society, we asked a further question, how are we going to get there?
Mm-hmm.
And we identify some real key areas of how we're going to get there.
Yes.
In terms of value-based, holistic education. Not just education that is classroom, getting stuff into our students' heads, but we're looking at what exists in our society and how we can make higher education more relevant to solving the challenges we're having in our society and making it more accessible to persons who would previously not have access to post-secondary education.
Right, and case in point, it just so happens that we're doing the interview now, coming on the heels of a couple of messages from our listeners in relation to the expression or the declaration, no new taxes.
Mm-hmm.
And now it seems there is the creation of an alternative narrative to say, be more specific, as the caller was saying earlier on, with respect to items and as opposed to this and that and so on. And I'm thinking, well, this is an example of why our tertiary level institutions like the UCC, the University of the Commonwealth Caribbean, have to help us in instances when you have this kind of a development. For example, we should be able to rely on your maybe a department, a unit, or an individual at your institution who can definitively say, can just set the record straight once and for all to say, this is what this means, this is how we should pursue that, etc. In other words, it does give a greater level of credibility to that kind of information, which is key in the management of the affairs of our country.
Right. Because one of the things we uncovered in the discussion with the educators from across the post-secondary education landscape was that tertiary education should be a vehicle for social change.
Yeah.
And we looked at the fact that so many of our citizens traditionally have not been able to afford post-secondary education,
True.
which leaves us at a loss.
Yes.
So we looked at skills and competencies that they could actually gain, and we looked at across the different universities, including ours, where we are now taking the approach of having stackable qualifications. So you can't commit to do, let's say someone can't commit to doing a whole 4-year degree because they don't have the money. They can do certifications that lead to an associate degree, a bachelor's degree, and take them up the rounds of education, higher education, one step at a time, where it is easier to do single steps and get to the qualifications needed so they can get better jobs, they can get the qualifications they need, not only for Jamaica, but the region and also to satisfy employment needs across the world.
What will become of the substance of the discussion, the forum, the Higher Education Leaders Forum?
Right, so that will inform policies not only at our university, but also across the landscape of post-secondary education. And we will continue the discussion, as a matter of fact, because what's happening across the entire week is that we are collecting information. We're not only sharing information and celebrating, we're collecting information that will inform the discussion and inform the policies that we take on as we look forward to igniting, discovering, and impacting our world.
Mm-hmm. And then yesterday now was the launch of UCC Conflict Resolution Education Program.
Yes. The nickname that we have taken on for that is QDIS, which is an acronym, Quelling Disputes and Igniting Solutions. So we're trying to put out a flame, because the flame of disputes rises ever so often in our society.
Including in our parliament, but don't get me started on that one. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so we have, it's almost natural that we have disputes, and we don't know how to ignite solutions around those disputes. So we actually invited students from a number of secondary schools from across the tertiary, across the corporate area, to speak to them, as well as to listen to them about how do we go about quelling these disputes and igniting solutions. So while we shared with the students from across the different high schools techniques that we have learned from our behavioral sciences department and other persons who were involved in the launch of the program, we shared with them techniques, but we also listened to these students to say, what are the challenges you're having in your space? And some of the information shared from these students were eye-opening for us, and that will inform our program as we push forward to unveil our conflict resolution program in a wider scale very soon.
And here's the one I like. I like the idea of an open house, so to speak, where you invite guests, members of the general public, to come and see what you do, how you do, when you do, why you do, etc. And that's and that's happening tomorrow, right?
That happens tomorrow right across our 5 campuses. So we're inviting persons to join us right across the island: Montego Bay, Ocho Rios, Mandeville, Maypen, and of course our Kingston campus as well, where we will be having prizes, giveaways. We will be joined by a number of sponsors. And here to make this innovative.
Yes, tell us.
We will be having the 5 campuses. Persons can visit for the open house, prizes, giveaway, radio interviews. We'll be sharing our processes from our recruitment department or Department of Student Services. We'll be having sponsors who will help students to understand how they can finance their higher education. And we have a number of sponsors. But how we make it innovative is we will be having these webinars where all the 5 campuses will be having dialogues with invited guests about entrepreneurship, about emerging careers. We'll be having a webinar about innovation, another about financial contracts. So we're not only having we're not only on the specific campuses having programs there, but we are having a united program online. So we've learned a thing or two from being online for an extended period.
Yes.
Before COVID. So we find ways to unite even though we're in separate areas. So exciting things to come tomorrow for our open day.
And then, of course, no special week such as UCC Inauguration Week 2023 is complete without invoking the presence of the Almighty. Please tell us about your thanksgiving and praise and church service.
We couldn't leave God.
Not at all.
Not at all. So what many of your listeners might not know that UCC is so very diverse. There is a church, New Kingston Fellowship, SDA, that is held on the campus at UCC, Worthington. And we will be joining staff, students, alumni, faculty, administrators, and executives will be joining the church service on Saturday coming, Sabbath, for intercessory prayers for the university as we continue to grow and expand and offer changes to our society as we ignite, discover, and impact our world. So we ask that persons join us on Saturday at 9 for our Thanksgiving service. We'll be having praise and worship. We will be having songs and dedication from different parts of the university, from our staff, from our alumni, from our faculty. And of course, we will be prayed for as the university continues to grow.
And then the big day is Monday, the 27th of March.
At 3 p.m., we will be having the installation ceremony. Pomp and pageantry installation ceremony of our third president, Dr. Albane Davies, here at the main campus on Worthington Avenue, Kingston. And our guest speaker will be the president of another university, Dr. David Hall. He's the president of the University of the Virgin Islands. He'll be joining us here at 3 p.m. And the entire installation ceremony, again, is under the theme, Igniting, Discovering, Impacting Your World.
I suspect you might very well have some memorabilia as well to mark the occasion.
Definitely. Definitely we will be. So we are inviting persons to join us tomorrow for our open house right across the island. Our campuses in Kingston, Maypen, Mandeville, Ocho and Montego Bay. We're inviting persons who are unable to go to the campuses to join.
Sorry, one moment. I'll allow you to repeat the information that you're repeating now, right after this break.
No.
For any project, ABC Electrical Sales has all your electrical supplies at the best prices. 8 Hagley Park Road, Kingston, 754-3714. The time by ABC Electrical Sales is
3:45.
Hello?
Mommy, it's who I think. All our account.
Data collection for the census continues. Soon, a census taker will be coming to you. Look out for them and let them know you count.
Environmental Solutions Limited celebrates World Water Day and joins the global initiative to raise awareness and accelerate change on water and sanitation issues. Water is vital for the economy, environment, and overall well-being. Environmental Solutions encourages all Jamaicans to join the initiative to be the change, be stewards of water, and accelerate the change to solve the water and sanitation crisis. Happy World Water Day from Environmental Solutions Limited.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm. We're featuring UCC Inauguration Week 2023. Mr. Gary McKenzie is the Acting Assistant Director of the Department of Student Services at the University of the Commonwealth Caribbean, UCC. He was just running through the range of activities to mark UCC Inauguration Week, and you can pick up where you left off when we took the break, Mr. McKenzie.
Not a problem. So we're inviting persons to join us tomorrow as we continue in the theme, Igniting, Discovering, Impacting Our World. Tomorrow at all our campuses, UCC campuses across the island of Jamaica in Montego Bay, Ocho Rios, Mandeville, Maypen, and Kingston. We're inviting persons to join us from 10 o'clock for our open house where we show what we do, how we do it, and We will be having online webinars as well. So we invite persons who are unable to make it to the campus to join us, to register their interest on our website at ucc.edu.jm. Under the event tab, you can just go to inauguration and register your interest to join us on any of our webinars that you might be interested in. And again, we will be having a praise and thanksgiving service on Saturday, and that begins at 9 o'clock, and that's at our Worthington campus at 17 Worthington Avenue. And the big installation ceremony of our third president occurs Monday afternoon. That's Monday the 27th of March 2013 at 3 p.m. at Worthington. And that will feature a guest speaker, Dr. David Hall, who is the president of the University of the Virgin Islands.
It sounds like a lot to look forward to. We want to wish you and the entire UCC family all the very best as you mark UCC Inauguration Week. And we trust that all will go according to plan. Thank you so much for sharing with us on this afternoon. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Okay.
Take care. Mr. Gary McKenzie, Acting Assistant Director, Department of Student Services at the University of the Commonwealth Caribbean, UCC, giving us a preview of the UCC's Inauguration Week 2023 and activities that have already started and others to come. All the best. Continuing with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. We did commit to getting back to more of your calls, and we will. Marcia Rodney says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan. Good afternoon, Marcia Rodney. Steve McDonald in Toronto, Canada says the system that he's talking about is what exists in Canada. Everyone is required to file taxes. No, I don't. I think you're on a different plane there, Steve. I'm not sure that's what that was the substance of the messages that we received. But thank you for your comment anyway. Norman Hines, good afternoon to you. Thank you very much for joining us. Over on YouTube, Errol says, Dervan, I know that you're not taking sides, but you also know what is meant by no new tax. Well, if you were listening to me, Errol, you would realize that we were trying to find out what is new, because as far as we know, that is a declaration that rings true wherever in the world you are. The politician in some kind of a budget presentation, as we know it or otherwise, saying no new taxes. So there's nothing there. That is a declaration that has been made for years, for decades in this country and elsewhere in the world. So we're trying to find out what is so new now that we need to restructure the lexicon in reference to no new taxes. Let's see. Marcel Worrell says, Sir D, do you have any idea of how we can address the problem of crime in our country? Maybe that is part of the problem, Marcel Worrell, because we are looking to address crime as opposed to taking a different tact, which is, it could come in many forms. It could come in a series of programs or an initiative that looks at softening the society. Remember to say please, thank you, as simple as you see it. It can make a difference. Or whether we are more hands-on and we want to set up a couple of tented areas in communities to assist Jamaicans some of whom might have thought they were forgotten, to bring them back into the fold, to give them a sense of purpose, a sense of self, a sense of identity, etc., etc., and work your way up with these programs. Don't try to take on everything at the same time. By now, we should know which buttons to press in achieving an effective management apparatus when it comes to safety and security in Jamaica. By now, we should know what buttons we need to press, in a manner of speaking. We don't try to take it all in at once. I don't want to use the cliche about low-hanging fruits, but that could come into play. What can we do right now? What approach is necessary in this scenario, in this situation, in this community, in these communities? And one step at a time, we keep chipping away, chipping away, chipping away. We'd be surprised at how effective that could be. But I'm just throwing it out, or throwing out different possibilities. But there's no one solution, as we have found. There's no one solution. There is no silver bullet or golden bullet, for that matter. But by now, we should know some things about our country and our people, and be able to use that data to employ strategies that are likely to make a difference. Notice we didn't say likely to solve crime, likely to make a difference. Thank you for your message, Marcel. And let's complete the message. Or also, would you use your show to start a discussion time to time with Everyday Jamaican? Well, I don't know who you regard as an everyday Jamaican. Maybe you could define everyday Jamaican for us. Karen Rowe says, hello, Mr. Malcolm and listeners. To you too, Karen Rowe. Sean Chambers, good afternoon to you. And let's hop across to, let's go back to, in fact, let's take this call that's been holding on our text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling. And that caller has put us on hold, but if he doesn't pick up within the next few seconds, well, it means that he's going to be on hold. So that's the caller calling us from the 808 number. If you're listening, if you're hearing us, please engage the device right now, or we're going to move right along. 876-365-3346, going once. 876-365-3346, going twice. 876-365-3346. No response from the caller on hold on the 808 number. So we're going to have to move on. Thank you very much for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Let's go now to the WhatsApp messages. Crocs in Black River says there is a false equivalency being drawn between how Edward Seaga was perceived and how they want to portray Mark Golding. Mark Golding does not see himself as being the natural leader of Jamaica and did not set out from day one with the sole ambition of being prime minister and to be a party leader for life. So far, Mark Golding's leadership has not led to political tribalism, nor had he set the stage for violence in Jamaica. It is a fact that he was born in Jamaica and is mainly of English blood, which, like it or not, maybe 90% of us share to some degree or other. From Crocs in Black River. Crocs in Black River, the demonization of certain political figures in Jamaica is very well known. It has happened over the years. We have seen it, we have experienced it. The demonization of Michael Manley at some point or another, although for others he's very well revered in Jamaica. The demonization of Edward Siaga, the demonization of Portia Simpson Miller, the demonization of Bruce Golding, the demonization of Andrew Holness, and so on and so forth. It's one of those, I don't know if we could dress it up by calling it a strategy, but it is an approach that has been used in the past and is still being used to uglify, my word, to uglify an individual, to cause an individual to become detestable. And so you do whatever you can to bring out the worst in that individual. So you could get that individual to say certain things on a political platform and behave a certain way that would cause that individual to become some kind of a rejected material. It's just a fact. That's what has been happening and has happened and is still happening in Jamaica. Now, whether those who have been demonized in this country have themselves to blame or not, the fact is that is what we have observed over the years here in Jamaica.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Hour 106.
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
4 o'clock.
Under the law. Know your rights and how the laws of Jamaica can help you defend those rights. Under the law.
Brought to you today by the Bank of Jamaica, building an inclusive economy.
Whether you're a small farmer, street vendor, big investor, every entrepreneur got to wise up about your money. You have to make sure say your money secure. When you need to grow, you have access to more.
Financial inclusion means that individuals and businesses have access to useful and affordable financial products and services that meet their needs.
Access to more money, more credit, whatever your business needs. When you work hard for your money must work for you.
Well, Finn, as expected, the loan application for Digital Voices has been approved.
If all micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, MSMEs, were as organized as they are, life would be so much easier for microcredit institutions like ours.
When they approached us as a licensed microcredit institution, they presented a very clear vision for their company. We here at Phoenix Gold Lenders are happy to get on board with them.
not, then they cannot be helped. Let's go to the phone lines once again before we come back to the multiple messages. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Hello, go ahead now. It's your time. Hello. No, that person is distracted. Let's move on. Let's move on. RM says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. With all due respect to your regular accountant, GCT is not a new tax. More people are spending money. So naturally, the government will collect more GCT, but that does not make it a new tax. Please do not take things out of the context. But what my late mother would say to you, RM, what a piece of outer orderness on your part. What on earth are you talking about? Please do not take things out of the context from which it is used. RM, I've never been so shocked in my life. I thought you were a reasonable man. I am shocked. It means you didn't hear a word that I said. You didn't hear a word. I am so shocked, RM, my longtime friend in Canada. I won't even call your full name. Let's keep it at RM. I am shocked. Whoa, you weren't listening, RM. Spider says, Mr. Malcolm, I'm happy to tell you that the water leak I told you about is finally fixed. Oh, we're delighted to hear that, Spider. He says, I see where they're doing some road repair on Bell Road Development Road, and I hope they complete Ashenheim Road. All right, thank you very much, Spider, for your message. This one says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. I would like you to use this song for your theme song. Tomorrow, I know Bob Marley, Dr. Nigel Clark has become my favorite politician in Jamaica. I'm very much impressed with his budget presentation. That's coming from Richard. Now here's another Richard. This one is LL Richie Rich from Florida. He says, good afternoon, Dervan. Your program is great as usual. Against the backdrop of the deplorable behavior in the parliament by the Minister of Finance for the country of Jamaica, Dr. Nigel Clark, I am hard-pressed to conclude that it was spontaneous. It was a vitriolic, contrived exhibition of an apparent perverted culture of deception and obfuscation that permeates a narcissistic group that seeks to subvert societal norms, thwart civil liberties, and suppress the vote. You obviously didn't want anybody to understand your message, LL Richie Rich. I mean, you really didn't want anybody to understand your message using all those words. Hello, whatever happened to the KISS theory? Keep it short and simple. KISS. Anyway, thank you for your message. And Salah says, Dervan, you have to do better. Why are you saying that it was a joke? They were joking. I'm very surprised of you. Well, if you didn't, I can't help you. This is what I'm saying. I am surprised at what you're saying, Salah. This is like selective, and I'm creating another term, misobservation. Because you obviously didn't watch that particular piece of what was happening in Parliament. You obviously didn't see it. You didn't hear the banging on desks and all the raucousness that was going on. You obviously didn't hear it. I can't help you, Salah, if you didn't hear any of that. What is he saying now? I am very surprised of you, Dervan. Seems that politics is getting to your head also. Well, Salah, I know who I am and I know whose I am. So I don't worry about comments like the one that you're saying now, that you're posting now, Salah, because you can only be Salah. You can't be anybody else. And I can only be me. And yeah, let's just leave it at that. I don't want to waste that kind of time with Salah, because Salah, now I know you're the one who's joking. Really and truly, you're the one who's joking. He says, do you know the meaning of massa? It is meant to be demeaning. Yes. It's a representation speech of slaves. Yes. Nigel Clark needs to apologize to Mark Golding as well as the country. Salah from Kingston. Well, you know something about apologies. If you want to go ahead and apologize by all means. What happened in Parliament was disgraceful, and those who were involved need to take responsibility. Whatever came out of the mouths of those who were on the floor in Parliament is exactly what they wanted to say. Is exactly what they wanted to say. So it is up to them to determine whether they think it is necessary, and we're deliberately wording it the way we are, it is necessary to apologize. And then for the people to determine whether they will pay any attention to the apology or they would accept it. Whatever came out is exactly what the speakers wanted to come out. That's what unfolded. And it's about time we move away from this kind of politics. Every time we think that we are moving towards some kind of higher level of maturity, we sink back to where we're coming from. We go back to where we're coming from. And it really has to stop. Really and truly. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:15. Environmental Solutions Limited celebrates World Water Day and joins the global initiative to raise awareness and accelerate change on water and sanitation issues. Water is vital for the economy, environment, and overall well-being. Environmental Solutions encourages all Jamaicans to join the initiative to be the change, be stewards of water, and accelerate the change to solve the water and sanitation crisis. Happy World Water Day from Environmental Solutions Limited.
On your marks. Set.
The Issa Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletics Championships takes place from Tuesday, March 28 to Saturday, April 1 at the National Stadium, and Power 106 FM brings you all the action. Tune into both sides of the story. Tuesday, March 28 to Friday, March 31 for updates. Roundup during Power Play, Tuesday, March 28 to Friday, March 31, and live simulcast on Saturday, April 1. Coverage of the Issa Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletics Championships is brought to you by Lock Safe and Bolt Limited, Ricardo Stationery and Office Supplies, Patients First Pharmacy, Tomating's Hardware and Farm Store, Barry's Hardware, Beverly Hills Pharmacy, Wellington Dental, Signature Products and Awards Limited, and Margins Pharmacy.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. What is June sharing with us now in Norway? What? Miss June, can you tell us what this is about? Looks like a nice place, wherever this is. Thanks for sharing. All the best. And she says, I wish more women would be more proud of themselves. LL Richie Rich from Florida says, oh, Dervan, don't underestimate the brilliance of the Jamaican people. LOL. Not joining you with that, LOL. This one says, my, Mr. Malcolm, that message was directed to your regular account caller, who is implying that Mr. Clark was not on the level when he said there was no new tax. Oh, let's see. That message was directed to your regular account caller, who is implying that Mr. Clark was not on the level when he said there was no new tax. Oh, well, you see, I really don't, life is too short to engage in the sort of pettiness that we see and hear big people being involved in. It's life is really too short to waste it on that kind of pettiness, quite frankly. So we are more interested in what is than what isn't. Let's see. This one says, Dervan, I want to do a course at Hart in plumbing. I'm 63. What's the age limit? I don't know, but they advertise on radio a lot and on TV. That ad that says one number, same information, Hart Trust NSTA. Just whenever you hear that ad, just see if you can write down the number, because, or you could go to the directory, whether the physical big book or online, just as how you used WhatsApp a while ago to get through to us. So too you can use Google, for example. Just Google Hart NSTA Trust, and you will just type contact Hart NSTA Trust, and you'll be able to get the information that you need. All right. Thank you very much for your message. David Crosburn says, greetings to you and all your listeners. I read the golden words of your opening poem as being ascribed to Mahatma Gandhi. No. As far as I know, it's an anonymous piece. But if you can identify, if you've been able to identify the author, then please share it with us. And I take it you're referring to that piece at the start. Watch your thoughts, for they become words. Watch your words, for they become actions. Watch your actions, for they become habits. Watch your habits, for they become your character. Watch your character, for it becomes your destiny. The rest of the message. Earlier today, the principal of CASE mentioned that since COVID-19, over 500 students have not returned to the college, meaning the college population has declined from over 1,500 to 1,000. Every effort ought to be made by the Students' Loan Bureau, SLB, to fix this alarming situation. At this stage of our development, SLB should relax its means test and rescue those students to secure our precision agriculture development. Kind regards, David. Yes, indeed, David, something should be done in that regard. RM says, sorry, that was from RM with regard to taking things out of context. That was not directed to you, sir. Most definitely not. Thank you very much for making that clear, RM. All the very best. And Sir T has some things to say, playing with words. It was just a show. And Dwight, Sandra Forrester is also tuned in. Welcome, Sandra. Good to have you on board. Over on Facebook Live, Paul Miles of the eponymous Paul Miles Foundation says, good day, Dervan and all listeners. Good day to you too. Interactive learning at Petersville Primary School, great achievement and appreciated, making me proud. Petersville Primary School, Westmoreland, is now the first rural primary school in Jamaica where each child in every class has access and use of individual Chromebook laptop. No sharing required. A total of 135 Chromebook laptops were donated by my foundation. Projectors were also donated to each classroom to support and enhance interactive learning. Thanks to Principal Janice Bowes Wellington for her vision, dedication, support, development of learning blog sites, and engaging parents via training sessions to allow them to learn the basic technology to support their children's education. Well done. Epson Short Through Smart Projector will be shipped to Petersville Primary to support the teaching staff. Congratulations, very well done. And we always love to salute and celebrate the doers, those who do, those who get the work done should be celebrated if we hope to become even more illustrious and productive than we have ever been in the history of our country. There's no time like the present for us to celebrate, encourage, lift up, highlight, and salute those among us who get the job done. That's what really counts. My late mother would say, mouth on crossway, make for say anything. But to see the words being put into action, being actualized, now that is something to behold. That is something to behold. Sir T says, well done. So how that don't make the news in reference to the donations that Paul Miles of the Paul Miles Foundation made to Petersville Primary School. All right, let's go to, oh goodness. Let's go to Patrick, otherwise known as Jamaica Love, who has been holding now for 23 minutes and 6 seconds. Good afternoon. Thanks for your patience. Go ahead, please.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I'm just the art trust NTA gone over to education minister, and in the news the people don't know what's going to happen for their extractive money and nothing at all. Do you hear about it?
Yes, I've heard about it, and obviously those affected need to ensure that they are at the table, and not just at the table, but make sure they're not on the menu. If you can read between the lines. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, because it's so like it's just a bullet thing that you just take what comes to you and leave it.
No, well, that's why we have trade unions. That's why we have lawyers, etc. And that's why we have there are a couple of options open to those at this stage, and it's still relatively early in a manner of speaking. But people just have to insist, and that their voices be heard, and whatever support they need, whether it's of a trade union type or a legal putting it to your lawyer type, then so be it. It's your life, it's your future, it's your interest that you're looking after.
But they give them an ultimatum by the 31st of this month.
Well, again, as I said, they still have options. They still have options that they can and actions that they can take to secure themselves.
Okay.
So I would just encourage them to do that, quite frankly, to take advantage of the openings that are there, the processes and procedures that are open to them. Take advantage, but it's not the end of the road or the world.
Okay, thanks, Ali.
Thank you for the call. Take care. Bye-bye. And that's another thing. We that quotation that we shared earlier on, the only way to prove that you have power is to use it. The only way to prove that you have power, or to demonstrate that you have power, is to use it. Over to those who are perhaps a little shy, a little reticent, fearful of what they might lose rather than what they could gain. Look, it's the age for that. We have to do what needs to be done, and that's it. Just get the job done. Do what needs to be done. We no longer let's just say we've come a long way and we still have a far way to go. But really and truly, this is the age for doing what needs to be done. Get it done. Get it done. Don't keep procrastinating, putting it off, putting it off, putting it off. Get the job done. Thank you very much. Keep those messages coming in here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. This one says, this is from Marcel Worrell. He says, Mr. D, can you give information on how to start a charitable organization? Well, there is an institution that is called, what is it called again? It's the, oh gosh. It's site is, oh gosh. Department, okay, just came back to me. Department of, I spoke too soon. It came and went. Department of Cooperatives, Department of Cooperatives and Friendly Societies. Department of Cooperatives and Societies. That's the name of the organization that can help you, Marcel Worrell, in setting up a charitable organization. It's the Department of Cooperatives and Friendly Societies. Make a note of that. Department of Cooperatives and Friendly Societies. If you're planning on making official your setting up of and stewardship of a charitable organization, that is the institution you need to go to. Department of Cooperatives and Friendly Societies.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:30.
Good afternoon to Asha Ash, although it's nighttime right now for you, Asha Ash, isn't it? You're, what's that, 10:30 p.m. in London, England now. Welcome. Thank you for joining us, Asha Ash. Better late than never. Thank you very much for joining us. And let's see what Salah is up to this time. He says, Dervan, the Speaker of the House, she needs to be replaced. She's too biased, and the beating desks doesn't mean anything. Those who beat the desks, some of them don't understand what they're doing. As I said, the House is the worst I've seen. Someone needs to show a copy of some great House Speaker, of some great House Speaker or speakers. Violet Nielsen, Carl Marshall, Dean Peart. The Speaker is on the campaign trail in the Parliament. What happened in the House, the Speaker is to be blamed. She is just too biased, says Salah from Kingston. Thank you for your message, Salah from Kingston. LL Richie Rich from Florida sends a rejoinder. He says, when people are frustrated, distracted, and confused by people who do not want to give up power, or those who wish to gain power, they may be turned off from participating in the political process. This is a method of voter suppression. Let's read it again. When people are frustrated, distracted, and confused by people who do not want to give up power, or those who wish to gain power, they may be turned off from participating in the political process. This is a method of voter suppression, says LL Richie Rich from Florida. Here's Clifford. Clifford says, hi, Dervan, keep on keeping on. Just laugh and go your merry way. Why the House Speaker did not ask Nigel Clark to withdraw that stupid remark. That is why so many job providers close shop and leave Jamaica. Does Nigel realize how many jobs, or how many job providers left Jamaica? Or is he too young? Money does not know color. Who has the money in Jamaica? Right? Take care. Good luck. Jam. Is that good luck, Jamaica? All right, Clifford. Thank you very much for your message. Did we take the 4:30 break? Oh, just checking. All right. Let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Here's a message from Dookie Nani. He says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. The 135 Chromebook laptops donated to Petersville Primary School is a good step forward, and it will go a far way in educating the students into this time. I am enjoying your program from Panama City. Thank you very much, Dookie Nani in Panama City, a former staff member here at Power 106 FM. If only I could remember his actual name. Slim fellow, small frame, and he'll remind me if he's still listening. Thank you very much. ¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 5 menos 26. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5 heures moins 26. 现在几点了？5点加2十6分. 26 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Do you know where your children are? Are they where they're supposed to be? Doing what they're supposed to be doing? It's a good time to check up on the children. A good time for us to continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. And let's see, Sandra Forrester says, I would like Jamaicans to come out the same when people cursing the Chinese. And Albert in Coconut Creek, Florida says, Mas Dervan, I can see you're well on the hustling like you. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you too, Albert in Coconut Creek, Florida. Good to have you on board. Thank you very much for tuning in, and all the very best. All right, let's share some history with you now. How about that? Let's share some history. 1841, the governor, Sir Charles Metcalfe, informed the British government that the Irish immigrants who arrived in Jamaica on March 8 had all been employed, among them 30 by Dr. Hinton Spalding on his Hermitage Coffee Estate, 12 by the Spanish Town Police, 2 by R.J. Hitchens, 4 by J. Harrison, a St. Catherine penkeeper, 2 by a Kingston tailor, Mr. Bonito, and 11 by John Jones of Portland. That was 1841 in Jamaica. Slavery was abolished in Puerto Rico in 1873. The English Football League was established on this day in 1888. Let's move now to 1889. Because work had been stopped on the construction of the Panama Canal, a further 1,475 Jamaicans who had been working on the project were repatriated and returned to Kingston on the SS Gaged. This brought to 3,910 the number of Jamaicans who had been repatriated. Every time this subject comes up about Jamaicans and the Panama Canal, my memory goes back to a conversation with an immigration officer in Florida. I don't know, I think he came into knowledge of some new information with respect to the impact of Jamaicans on the Panama Canal. So when I'm trying to remember how the subject came in, or it was just because I'm Jamaican, I don't remember. But he engaged me in this long conversation about and was telling me, directing me where on YouTube I need to go in order to learn more about the impact of Jamaicans on the Panama Canal and the work that Jamaicans did, etc. And I felt a little embarrassed because there we were, this long line of people waiting to be processed, and this immigration officer engaging me in conversation about the impact of Jamaicans on the Panama Canal. But so it was, and that was quite something. And another bit of history for you. Let's see. This one here now. The first color photograph was published in the London Daily Illustrated Mirror on this day in 1904. Listen to this one, 1903. Let's go back a bit. 1903, Niagara Falls ran out of water due to a drought. 1903, the famous Niagara Falls ran out of water due to a drought. And that one brings back fond memories as well. When we broadcast live from Niagara Falls, we have done that as well. Yes, that was quite something. Let's go to 1927. The Times department store, as it was called, 8 to 12 King Street in Kingston, published an advertisement inviting rural Jamaicans to enjoy city convenience in your country home by purchasing a Delco electricity generator. This appliance, it says, is the one thing you will need to make your house as comfortable and as well appointed as if it were a fashionable suburb of Kingston. A press of a button will convert the gloom into brilliantly lighted space. So they were advertising the Delco electricity generator. In fact, there was a time that when I thought that a generator was called a Delco, because that's what my late mother used to call it. She used to just, once it's a generator, it's Delco, not recognizing that Delco is a brand. It's just like newspaper in Jamaica. You don't ask for newspaper, you ask for a gleaner, that kind of thing. So that is that. And let's see, 1933, Marcus Garvey, President General of the Universal Negro Improvement Association, UNIA, laid the foundation stone for Liberty Hall, the headquarters of the organization, at 76 King Street, Kingston, witnessed by several civic and other dignitaries, including the Custos of Kingston, A.E. da Costa. The premises would provide accommodation for offices, a convention hall, cultural activities, and facilities for a soup kitchen. And having mentioned that, I'm remembering broadcasting live from the UNIA building there, the Liberty Hall on King Street with Tony Leng. I remember that fondly. And let's see. Ken Booth was born in Kingston on this day in 1948, the son of William and Veen Booth. And it was good to have been in Ken Booth's company in Bermuda some years ago as well. Yeah, there's always something to make a connection with, right? Majority Leader of the House, Alexander Bustamante, on this day in 1949, told members that his party had no intention of asking or demanding complete self-government now. Bustamante says Jamaica has not proved it is fit and proper to receive independence. For at the same time we are seeking freedom, we are proving to the world we are a bloodthirsty people. Can you believe this? This is 1949. Member of the House of Representatives for East St. Mary echoes Bustamante's views, because we may open the door to such a wholesale delivery of freedom that we might choke on it. No, we have to read this again. 1949, on this day, Majority Leader of the House, Alexander Bustamante, tells members that his party had no intention of asking or demanding complete self-government now, as in then, in 1949. Bustamante says Jamaica has not proved it is fit and proper to receive independence. For at the same time we are seeking freedom, we are proving to the world we are a bloodthirsty people. That means we were killing people back in 1949 too. Member of the House of Representatives for East St. Mary echoed Bustamante's views, because we may open the door to such a wholesale delivery of freedom that we might choke on it. Well, apparently the choking continues. We're still choking. What a thing. How profound. Let's go to the phone lines once again. 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Honorable, what's going on?
You tell us, please.
Two things one talk about, but take a little talk on the subject of the day. When we hear the media carry cross, we're going in a in charge of the third parliament yesterday.
Yes.
What is racial about where the statement where the black youth they make? When name the finance minister. When we hear the world as a racist and to apologize. What is racist about the statement we make?
Well, you'll perhaps have to ask those who are offended by it if you don't see anything wrong with it. But there are people who are offended by it. But essentially, the use of the term massa, because massa is how the former colonial masters and the slave masters were referred to. The slaves used to refer to them as massa. Massa.
Right.
Yes.
That's why I like your vibes, you know. All right. So tell me, never ask a question and then come forward to the point of my raise. This democracy, constitutional monarchy system of government, and about the master government or master government, British constitutional monarchy system of government will rule Jamaica. And no master government.
Well, you're not going to get into trouble for say it, but if you are the finance minister or anybody else, apparently you get into trouble for that.
Them don't have a right to speak the truth.
Yes, but hold on. Here's the thing about speaking now.
Yeah.
Who said it now? Former Prime Minister P.J. Patterson said, and I'll do it in his voice.
Yeah.
When you occupy certain positions, you give up freedom of speech.
Yeah.
When you occupy certain positions, you're not free to just run your mouth. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45.
Dr. Jackie Campbell is on call this and every Wednesday evening at 8 with Powering Your Health. Powering Your Health is Power 106 FM's flagship program dedicated to health and wellness. Your one-stop place to power a healthy lifestyle. How can we help you to power your health? You can reach the show anytime by calling 876-922-4112-5 or by sending a text or WhatsApp message to 876-279-8598. Brought to you by Benson Pharmacy and Wellington Dental. That's Powering Your Health. Powerful health and wellness discussion and interaction. This and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Only on Power 106 FM.
DJs give the bag of blues, shapeless mask.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 5:14. Quelle heure est-il en français? Il est 5:14. 现在几点了？5点加14分. 14 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Good afternoon to all working Jamaicans tuned into both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. It's a good time for us to ask ourselves, how productive have we been today? How productive have we been today? Thank you very much for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Let's go back to the phone lines. Yes, sir.
Oh, Honorable. Yeah, so the statement where the finance minister made, King Charles, finance minister, you know, he not say nothing wrong because Mark Holding a slave master picnic. I don't know that. All who me hear attack. The whole I don't know that in this judgment. It's not an African. A full-blooded African. Man an African. So when I ball for the man saying to apologize, white minority in this country come ball.
He's a Jamaican. He's a Jamaican.
We're not talking about Jamaican. I said in slave master picnic, and no one can deny that. So when I said the man say apologize, sir, and the whole of them in a parliament who is black, the whole of them are serve Bucky Master government. So the man and this honorable opposition leader, the whole of them bow to Bucky Master government, this constitutional monarchy system of government. But they have we vote for PNP and Labour. You know, we formed the government from 1962, from Bucky Master government. You know, King Charles III by the grace of God. The world not grown. And I come chat up on the mouth.
No, but why are you excluding yourself though?
No, I rule under the imperial line of Judah, you know.
Yeah, but you can't escape it. You are one of us.
Escape it. No.
you are one of us.
The indigenous people of Jamaica is our Indian, and 95% of us on this island is partially African descendants. You know? But the man make a statement like that where the world come down upon him for in this judgment and him not say nothing wrong. And the whole of them in a parliament, and them are holding down a Sir Bucky Master government. In charge of this constitutional monarchy system of government.
In this judgment.
And then say them pepper Buster Manty and Mandley. Listen this carefully. Buster Manty and Mandley, where them say them found in father, two white men who carry back under British sovereignty, 60 years. So now come to Edward Seaga, white men. Is not an African. Where did I lead the Jamaica Labour Party? You know? Michael
but all those names that you call are names of Jamaicans.
Yeah?
All those names that you called are names of Jamaicans.
Yeah, because they're not black. But black people are not Jamaican. We have the identity of an African. We have African.
Out of many, one people. Out of many, one people.
That's a colonialism. Out of one come all. Out of Ethiopia, the first civilization come all. Out of the black man and the black woman come all. We bring our nation and none can bring it unless you bring a black self. So you couldn't get out of many one. That's a colonialism, you know?
That is the motto. That's Jamaica's motto. Out of many, one people.
You know where I get that from? Out of many one. And it said, why I say king, not a one thing. No, but there is something I need to double check it. But there is some information to suggest that out of many, one people was before e pluribus unum. But I haven't been able to verify. Somebody had brought something to my attention. I'll have to check it. Yes. But we really say we have a Bucky Master governmental rule, and all of these black people are all in a parliament, you know.
So what are you going to do about it?
What are we going to do about it? We need what we're going to do about our affairs as black people.
Yes, what are we going to do about our affairs as black people?
So the African diaspora, the purpose of the African diaspora, people born outside of Africa, is to work and build the continent, a black kingdom of our own. We stand in that purpose, yes, where we stand for. We stand to see the redemption of Africa, a united Africa for all black sons and daughters of the world.
All right.
You know? The black man kingdom, the black
How will that be achieved?
How
will that be achieved?
By turning to our black self within the royal banners, these Pan-African banners of the red, black, and green, and the red, gold, and green. Black world independence.
And when you speak of black, do I have to be obviously dark-skinned for you to consider me a part of the black family?
No, you're the natty, you know, Congo head, Bongo head, natty, like
I see.
Remember they used to go to school, they used to line you up, listen this, never know you could laugh. They used to line you up, you know, all of the black people, them, you know. Most of the boys and push the pencil, couldn't see that in our head. And then stuck and say, we have to go home, go trim our comb. They never do that to the Chinese and the coolie, you know.
Well, the educators of today are insisting that the young men cut their hair and be properly, as they put it, properly groomed. But that's
curriculum.
no,
That's in the curriculum. So then cut their hair. A colonial judgment, institutional slavery system, them have to have some people. Some people them.
yeah, well, it didn't do me any harm cutting my hair when I went to school.
Yeah, it never do you no harm. Oh, you mean you know do you no harm? And that's why never say something, but don't vex. And that's why you don't know no tell. So now everything have the white men. You know?
Yeah, but hold on now. Come on now, because you can't take away my individual rights from me. I am free to cut my hair if I want to cut my hair. You can't tell me I can't cut my hair.
So why the matter
You're out of order.
So why? So this system of government is out there. When I tell the black people them say here and then here.
No, there's a difference between children and adults. There is a difference.
Children have a right.
Oh yes, they do, without a doubt.
So if I look at you don't say you cut in here, one want in cutting here, but you cutting here about stopping to learn.
Yeah, but we've never look, we have to move on because time is running.
All right, before you move on,
yes.
Something to I and I, the black world of people here in Jamaica and the world. We left myself and done. I'm busy. You know, the white men up here working and dealing the Americas and Britain and left Africa and done. You know, so we need to turn to Africa and build a black world government of our own, you know.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you, because you have said that about 3 times already.
Yeah, we want to read it now.
Well, anyway, another time I would respond to what you just said. But thank you for the call. Take care. All the best. All right. Bye-bye. Albert, who is this now? Albert has shared something with us. Please mention the above for me. Former retired VP English and music teacher at Christiana High School. My good friend for over 50 years. Candlelight ceremony for Willie Forbes. February 24, 1943 to February 16, 1923. Saturday, March 25, 23rd, 2023 at 6 p.m. at Christiana High School. A candlelight ceremony. Our condolences to the family of Uncle Willie, as he was affectionately known. And that was shared with us by Albert in Coconut Creek, Florida. Crocs in Black River says there is an irony in what happened in Parliament yesterday, because the strongest supporters of the JLP are those who can also be called massa and who control all of the important levers in this society. From Crocs in Black River. And Sandra Forrester says, Mr. Malcolm, is something wrong with the song Master God a God? No, everything in its proper context. Context is important. It is the context that gives that which come from it, the meaning that arises. It's the context. It's all about context. And Clifford says, tell Lloyd, I saw Rastas on their knees calling Selassie God. Tell him Selassie was murdered. Oh dear. All right, Clifford. Thank you for your message on our WhatsApp line, 876-365-3346, same as the text line, 876-365-3346. Sir T says we're choking now, in reference to what that quotation we shared earlier on, what Alexander Bustamante said in Parliament. And let's see, we're coming close to wrapping, but we're just making sure we don't leave too many, if any, messages unread. I think we've been neglecting those who send us text messages, because I think we missed a text message from Venus, but this came in at 8:17. Is that today? Well, let's read it then. It says, hello, Dervan, good day. I send my messages early in the mornings because of time. I have been listening to the commentators and how Mr. Clark is being torn apart by some people because of his Massa comment yesterday. I failed to understand these one-sided political commentators. Nobody is saying, wait a minute, did Mr. Golding make a comment about something about stupid? It reminds me in a classroom and teacher call a student stupid. So if this was so, then the teacher is a massa showing seniority over the students. If Mr. Golding did mention something about being stupid, and I say again, if he did then, he is the one to be chastised. I think the commentators should come down on Mr. Golding for using that word reason. Dr. Clark called him, yes, massa, as he was feeling he is above everyone in the classroom, the parliament, and above Dr. Clark of all the persons. Our great finance minister, says Venus. Thank you very much, Venus, for your message. Can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, for today, Wednesday, the 22nd of March, 2023. The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on. Nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. All things being well, both sides of the story returns tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm reminding all of us that every day is an opportunity to do better than yesterday. Take care.
When the rain is falling from the sky, I know the sun will be only missing for a while. I says, common people like you and me will be villains for eternity. Each is given a battle to shameless man, and this will go.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
5 o'clock.
news, comprehensive, powerful, and credible.
Power 106 FM now presents a simulcast of Radio Jamaica's news at 5.
Good afternoon, I'm Lorraine Mendez. Coming up in the news segment of Beyond the Headlines today, Wednesday, March 22, 2023. Members of Constitutional Reform Committee announced first formal meeting set for next week. Health Ministry says dental assistants to receive payments on the new compensation review program next week. Arrangements being finalized for external counsel to handle prosecution of Antigua's Director of Public Prosecutions, Anthony Armstrong, who is facing fraud charges in Jamaica. Manchester man charged with the fatal stabbing of his 28-year-old partner remanded. In business news, gas prices going down tomorrow. The discussion segment of Beyond the Headlines with Dion Singer comes up after this newscast. The news is brought to you by Flow. Get value with a Samsung tablet or phone for only $9.99 plus